Have you ever wondered what would happen if a pre-warp civilization got its hands on a 1920s Chicago gangster guidebook? Um, it's a strange thought, isn't it? But it's the bizarre premise that kicks off one of the most talked about episodes in Star Trek history. Uh, Before we dive in, please remember to subscribe and hit that like button if you enjoy this exploration of the final frontier. The Prime Directive is a cornerstone of Star Trek, a guiding principle for Starfleet. It simply states that interference with the natural development of alien cultures is strictly prohibited to design. Think of it as a galactic look, the don't touch rule. Um, but what happens when the past comes back to haunt the present? A piece of the action begins with a historical anomaly that has similar years before the Prime Directive was established. The Federation starship Horizon accidentally left behind a book detailing the lives of 1920s Chicago gangsters on a pre-war planet. And this seemingly harmless act sets in motion a chain of events that tests the very foundation of Starfleet's principles. The planet's inhabitants, untouched by outside influence, embrace the book as sacred scripture. Um, they build their society around the code of the gangsters, complete with, pinstripe suits, Connie guns, and ruthless ambition. The Enterprise crew arrives to find a civilization locked in a violent turf war, nearing the streets of Chicago almost a millennium ago. Uh, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are immediately thrown into a chaotic situation. And they attempt to navigate the conflict without violating the Prime Directive, but they task Ken to proves nearly impossible. The crew tiptoes around the rule, desperately trying to contain the damage while avoiding direct interference. However, Kirk's attempts at subtlety quickly unravel that maybe he allows a mob leader to operate a Starfleet communicator, a clear breach of protocol, and then in a shocking move, he beams a gangster aboard the Enterprise, giving him a full tour of the ship's transporter room. The crew's actions are increasingly reckless. The situation escalates to the point where Kirk abandons all pretense of adhering to the Prime Directive. He orders the Enterprise to fire phasers onto the planet's surface, knocking out armed gangsters in front of the assembled bosses. And he then uses this show of force to negotiate a peaceful solution, demanding a 40% tribute from the planet. Kirk's actions are a blatant disregard for Starfleet's principles. He prioritizes resolving the immediate crisis over upholding the Prime Directive, setting a dangerous precedent. Spock expresses his disapproval, but the episode quickly brushes aside the moral implications. To add insult to injury, Dr. McCoy leads his communicator in the chief gangster's office, this final act of carelessness further undermines the crew's efforts and highlights the episode's comedic tone. It's like the writers were determined to see just how much they could get away with. Um, a piece of the action is undeniably a comedy episode. Uh, it's it's filled with slapstick humor and over the top characters. It's but does this excuse its uh, blatant disregard for the Prime Directive? Um, and that's a matter of debate. Some argue that the episode's comedic intent justifies its liberties, while others see it as a damaging portrayal of Starfleet's ethics. While the episode doesn't irreparably harm the franchise, it does raise questions about the consistency of Star Trek's moral code. It's a reminder that even in uh, a universe governed by logic and reason, there's always room for a little bit of chaos. Uh, After all, what do you expect from a crew that regularly encounters uh, bizarre alien life forms and interdimensional anomalies? Um, it's a bit like a cosmic joke. The Prime Directive is supposed to be a sacred oath, yet Kirk breaks it seemingly just to avoid hearing the word heater one more time. Uh, it's a testament to the show's ability to blend serious themes with lighthearted humor. And let's be honest, sometimes you just need a good laugh, even in the vast expanse of space. Um, with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. I go.